What's going on? We're back in the shop, but not for long. We are packing up the pack outs, loading up the welder, gloves, helmet. Oh yeah, grab the helmet and the regulator and a couple of hand tools, loading them up in the old Subaru. Such a good car. And we're on our way to the myth, the legends, TMR Customs. And we're gonna be doing some stuff on their buggy, get it ready. They put a new transfer case in, so we just gotta do a little something like that, and it'll be ready to rock. So yeah, load her up, hit the road. It's like negative 14 out Celsius, whatever that is in Fahrenheit. I don't know, someone can do the math. It's cold, so we'll hit the road and start cruising our way. All right, look at this thing. Look at that. Epic. So we're in the TMR secret shop. It's a secret shop, all right? This is where they work on their own stuff. So we have their personal race buggy. Quick note, if you don't know who TMR Customs is, they're a local company here in Toronto, Ontario, Canada, and they make a bunch of killer off-road parts. They make their own, let me flip it around here, we'll do a little tour. They make their own limit straps. They make trusses and braces and four-link kits, and check out their website. They make a lot of cool stuff. If you're into anything that we're into, which you are if you're watching this, they're right up your alley. So I made some tubes for this bad boy before. This truck does King of Hammers, which is a pretty insane off-road race. That's what this truck, that's all it does. It goes to the desert, does the race, comes back. They have a new transfer case modification here. They got like a low and high range splitter that he put in. So now our old muffler setup on this side is a lot tighter. Always an issue with trucks like this is symmetry. It's hard to make stuff symmetrical when stuff is not symmetrical. This side obviously has no issues. We have miles of room on this side. This side now, because he had to remake the mount for the transfer case because it got pushed back a little bit, this case hits this muffler that I've made previously. Custom. So now what I am doing is I've already started working on it because I suck at filming stuff, but in general, we have the front pipe that was on here. The truck is in shambles right now just because they're prepping it, but we had our old front pipe here. I've modified these headers previously. Comes down, sneaks along the side, and it's kind of tucked up in there. It hits the transfer case. We can't have that, so we got to fix that. So I have already started cutting off the previous hanger bracket on that. See if I could get it to fit. Didn't work. All right, so the next plan is pretty much, this is the front pipe that I've made previous with it. We got my little mobile setup going on right now. Old pipe that we made previously, we're gonna trim it and we're going to extend it, add a little piece on that I have laying around here somewhere. left it up on the hoist. Add this little piece in there, and then that should get us further away from the transfer case where it was sitting. And then I'm just gonna have to remake the little chassis hanger bracket tab. There it is, hanger bracket tab. Everything on this thing is epic. The links, the axles, the brakes, the arms, the shocks, tubes. Yeah, it's sick. It's super sick. I'm super thankful to be considered the guy to come make tubes for these guys. They've been around longer than I have, making super cool stuff. Again, they're known all over the world, but here in Toronto, Ontario, Canada, if you're into anything off-road, you know who TMR is. So we're gonna keep slicing and dicing here on my little ghetto saw. Hey man, this saw has made a lot of cool shit through the years for what it is. So we'll keep chopping and we'll check in a little bit. We're back. So I got that all dialed in, and I forgot to bring my filler rod. So thankfully, my boy Willie, his shop is only like 10 minutes from here, 15 minutes. I'm out here in Newmarket area, and yeah, so thanks Willie. Get that all dialed in, and then I'll take it back to him on the way back. We'll probably go check out his shop, see all the cool shit he's been doing. He's been working on this crazy cab over, doing way too much work. Big sheet metal guy. And he's got his race car, a bunch of cool shit. He's got a bunch of cool stuff at his shop. But in general, we got this dialed in. It's not gonna be sitting right there, but I added a small 3-inch section to the front pipe, and I modified the hanger bracket that was in there. So we should be pretty dialed. Gotta retack that back up in there, cut it off of the muffler, because obviously it wasn't gonna fit. So just kind of went with a small piece. Made sense. This is a new piece too. Carrier bearing got moved over, so it also helped because we ended up moving this a little more over. This thing's tight, man. Hard to get good photos. Moved it over a little bit just to get a little more clearance on the prop shaft on travel. I'll do a video of this thing traveling up and down. It's pretty intense. And ignore all the wire. This thing is pulled apart right now. Everything is pulled apart, so don't judge. Don't judge anything. It's work in progress. So, filler rod in stock, that's good. We're gonna set up the bench, bring the tubes from there to here. Might as well film welding that up, get her dialed in, back on the truck, redo the hanger, and she's complete. Project finished. Oh, need my filler rod still. Thanks, Willie. Leave that over there. We're in my little cubby over here. Got a little wooden stool. Got my TV. And let's get comfy. Do some welding. It's not as easy to get comfy when you don't have all your own stuff. buggy dialed in, tubes in place, and now we got Tim's welder set up here, and we're giving him a couple little lessons, showing him the ropes. And he's killing it, man. You're a professional welder now. You don't even need to bring me in.
I don't know about a pro, but yeah, pretty good for today for sure. Appreciate the tips and tricks.
My absolute pleasure. Learning the ropes. I'm gonna be out of work. All right, end of the day here, and we got the man, the myth, the legend.
It's Tim here from TMR Customs. I co-founded TMR in 2008 with my brother Mike. He's over there on the belt sander.
All the boys are prepping the truck for King of Hammers right now, and that's why I was here today.
Mike came up to do some exhaust modifications for us. He built us an awesome stainless system last year for King of the Hammers. We made some transfer case and drivetrain mods, and unfortunately we got kind of in the way of some of Mike's wizardry. So
no problem.
He came up today, got things fixed up for us, and yeah, TMR, we design and manufacture builder parts for fabricators, as well as our own line of tools, garage organizers. You can check them all out online. But
yeah, I'm going to throw a link to TMR page in the description to the video, and probably just a bunch of tags here and there. If you've followed me for years, I've been using TMR stuff for over a decade now. They've come a long way from just the universal traction bar kits that a bunch of me and my buddies would buy and put on our own stuff, and making our probably the first set of 4-links I made for things. This truck is a great example of some of the parts that him and his brother and all the people, it's a pretty large operation, larger than you would think. We'll may even get a day where we go to the head shop where they make all their own Heim joints in-house, their lifetime Heims. All these products are indeed here in Canada and fabricated here in Canada for the world.
The world, yeah, for sure. We export our stuff everywhere. We're on every continent, and yeah. So what we're working on here is one of our tube chassis kits. It's
you make this is a kit that you make.
Yep, yeah. So it's a kit car. All the tubes are laser cut, CNC notched, part numbered. We send it to you on a pallet, and it's essentially Lego for fabricators. So it's got
a guy like me can just add to cart a full truck like this.
Yeah, absolutely. So you get the chassis itself, then we do the seat mounts, all your shock mounts, your trailing arms, all the tabs for the axles.
Different axles too, right? Yeah, I know you guys make truss kits for older style Ford Dana axles.
Exactly. A lot of guys like the Dana or the 14 bolt, like the 1-ton axle, super popular. Or if you're kind of racing, you want to go with the spider tracks or fabricated axle. Like
yeah, I've showed some stuff on this buggy in the past, and every time I see it, it definitely gets more and more wild. A lot of guys who are into stuff I am into, we're into drifting and a lot of forms of motorsports. We don't traditionally put spare drive shafts on board and jacks and just a bunch of crazy custom stuff that are into these chassis. Again, it's super cool the fact that his brother designed this chassis on the computer, and it is a race-winning, competing chassis, and you can just literally add to cart this and build it in your garage with your homies. Again, as I mentioned when I was making my videos before, she's pretty pulled apart. Everyone's here working on it, getting all the new, I think you said you got some new shocks, which look like a crazy octopus.
Yeah, so they're like a 3-inch 5-tube bypass shock, and that gives us different zones and levels of control. So yeah, we switched to a bigger shock this year based on the recommendations from a tuner and route for the shock manufacturer last year. So yeah, that's new. Oh yeah. New drive shafts, obviously the exhaust, valve covers we were looking at.
Yeah, those nice B-tier valve covers.
Yeah, they're pretty rad on the LS3 there. And then yeah, transfer case mods to get 2 speeds, so up high and low range. So we can now go faster in the desert and slower in the rocks, and that's kind of
which is super cool. And I went to school to work on transport trucks, so it's like first thing I thought of when he said that. I'm like, you got a splitter case,
and you, probably from the videos I had before, you can see it a lot better. But it's like a manual pull lever on the transfer case
right here. That's pretty trick. Always updating, evolving, and making cool shit. That's what I love about the guys at TMR. Again, from the decade that I've known them, they've definitely leveled it up extremely to all different forms of motorsports, because it's not even just off-roading. Like, there's so many. I have a customer who has a 50s Cadillac on hydro that we literally use the TMR Heims to make him custom rear control arms for his lowrider. So it's the parts are for builders, not just off-road builders.
Off-road's
right?
kind of our jam and where we test the stuff, but yeah, if you're a fabricator, you're creative, and you can build, then you're definitely our guys.
100%. Well, dude, it's always a pleasure coming out. I appreciate you. I'm gonna try and nail a high five.
Awesome,
man.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for thinking of me to come out and play with your rig. And we're gonna get the beauty shot. I'm gonna put the camera down and we'll get the full travel. Because right now he put her on the stands and it's fully on the bump stops. So you'll be able to see the 20 odd, I'd say it's like 20 inches of
Yeah,
travel.
this thing's over 20 in the rear, and yeah, we'll have you up to do some work with us on our new IFS platform.
Yeah, dude,
So
I'd love that. I'd love
be
to
sweet.
be
That'll
involved
be a
in
new-
any aspect.
new kit car we're coming out with, and we'll start that shortly after King of the Hammers, so we'll get you up for that. And yeah, it's going to be over 30 inches of rear wheel travel. 20
Yeah, that'll
in front.
be
It's gonna
insane.
It's going to be insane. It's going to be cool.
And it's like a center mount front independent suspension too,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, mid-engine. So we're going to need some serious custom headers, and I know who we're calling for that. It's going to be awesome.
I'm the guy for the job.
Sure.
Cool, dude. Well, until then, we'll catch this and we'll check you guys on the next one. I'm headed home. Perfect.
Send her up.
Yeah, I'm gonna do one on my iPhone too.
All right, so ready?
We're good. What a unit. Yeah, it's pretty insane. A drastic. It's pretty much a full length of my arm of travel. Yeah, one insane rig, ready to hit some big jumps in the desert, right? Hopefully not too big.